Harvard's Growth Lab report is unvarnished and lays bare the challenges facing the country ahead of a key general election next year. The report finds what it describes as two broad classes of problems that undermine inclusive growth: collapsing state capacity and spatial exclusion.
What I mean by collapsing state capacity is that the economy of South Africa, a fairly sophisticated economy, the most complex economy in sub-Saharan Africa by far, was reliant on a set of government services that are at the core of the productivity of the economy. Obviously, electricity, rail, passenger rail, ports, telecoms, security, water, all of these services have been deteriorating. Most dramatically, obviously, is the case of electricity, but less visible is a collapsing capacity in municipal governments, a reduction in access to water, increasing rates of insecurity. So it's across the board a set of government services, a set of public goods that the state was supposed to provide, and it has been providing them in lesser quantities and deteriorating qualities.
The report finds that structures of spatial exclusion in both urban and rural areas have been inadvertently entrenched through well-intentioned post-apartheid housing policies, in so doing undermining the development of denser and more inclusive cities. While attempts to address a slowing economy through fiscal stimulus have been ineffective, resulting in a weakening of the macroeconomic position of the country. It warns that moving forward, South Africa would need to regain its investment grade if it was to be competitive in growth opportunities ahead. While policies to date have simply not addressed the high levels of unemployment, placing additional pressure on social programs.
Obviously, unemployment in South Africa is sky high. It's going in the wrong direction. It's the highest in the world. Even unemployment difference between population groups, while all population groups have been facing higher rates of unemployment, the gaps between population groups have also been rising. Inequality is going in the wrong direction. Growth has been incredibly low. No matter what benchmark of country you want to choose, South Africa tends to be underperforming.
Looking forward, the report says South Africa could leverage its ample solar and wind resources to benefit from shifts in global demand in a world trying to decarbonize. And by achieving green growth, the country could demonstrate immense potential to supply goods, services, and know-how that will be in demand globally.
Well, the markets are going to change in very significant ways. You are a major producer of internal combustion engine vehicles. That industry is going to shift to electric vehicles. How quickly can you shift to electric vehicles? How quickly can you become a supplier of the batteries and the inputs that those electric vehicles and those electric batteries are going to need? There is a set of interesting initiatives in South Africa that we highlight in the report, where we think that you have already some, green shoots, but that can become really important sources of comparative advantage.
The Growth Lab argues that the collapse of the electricity system had squandered the country's comparative advantage in generating cheap and reliable electricity by exploiting its vast coal resources. While it urged government leaders to exercise bolder leadership to overcome the cases of state collapse, including gridlock and ideology within the ruling coalition, and the question of patronage that has corrupted the state. Siobhan Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.